What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out. We got to talk about the Thunderbolts once again. Another box office weekend is in the books. Let's chop it up about it. Look, let me say this right off rip. I don't care how you feel about the movie. If you like the movie, you like the movie, okay? I have no problem with people liking things that I don't like. I think the movie is very meh, very mid, but if you liked it, you liked it. Nothing wrong with that. Throw your arms around it, squeeze it, hug it, tell you love it. But Marvel is not interested in that. Marvel wants to see you guys show up to the theaters, all right? They don't care about your plaudits and your praise on social media. They need you to go buy tickets, okay? So if you love it that much, get your tail back to the theaters and buy some more tickets. Because right now, it's not doing too well, okay? Deadline says, oh, you know, Thunderbolts is nearing $300 million globally. Like, what does that even mean? Like, put that into some context, all right? $300 million globally means absolutely nothing, especially when you're talking about a movie that spent $180 million to make the thing, along with another $100 million plus for marketing. You're talking about a movie that spent $280 million, and it's going to need to get somewhere in the neighborhood of $550 million just to talk about breaking even. So nearing $300 million globally, that means absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. But yeah, it's been a bad weekend, all right? Thunderbolts New Avengers underperforms in the second weekend box office, a measly $33 million. That's not going to get it done, folks. That's not going to get it done. This movie needs to do buco bucks in order to get close to breaking even. It's nowhere near that. And so, yeah, drops, they're talking about the drops, and they're saying, oh, well, it only dropped 55%. Yeah, here it go. What is the Thunderbolts New Avengers second weekend box office? New Avengers is so stupid, by the way. It's such a stupid thing to say. Following the trades, estimating $35 million makes for a better headline. Thunderbolts New Avengers is coming in at $33.1 million for weekend 2 for a 55% drop from its opening weekend of $74.3 million. That gives it the sixth worst second weekend in the MCU, all of which have come post-Endgame. I want to talk about this drop, this 55%, because you're going to hear a lot about this, and a lot of cats are going to say, oh, 55% is not bad. That's not bad for a comic book movie. We've seen some mega drops, all right? Second weekend drops be up there in the 60s and 70s sometime percentiles. 55%, this is great. It's great for a movie that made well over $100 million in its opening weekend. If New Avengers, Thunderbolts, whatever, made over $100 million in its first weekend, 55% would be solid. But when you only made $74.3 million, 55% is disastrous. They needed this, honestly, to be like a 30% drop or something like that, you know, if they did this kind of opening weekend. Or you needed this opening weekend to be over $100 million. And so then, now we're decent. Now we're in decent territory. The decent territory that everybody's going to say this 55% drop is. This is not good. All right, this is actually very, very bad. If you need any proof of this, all right, let's go ahead and check out the box office itself. So here's the Thunderbolts, all right, and you can see the worldwide and everything. This is where it's at, $272 million worldwide. They said it was closing in on $300 million. Like, this is still kind of far to me. But nevertheless, all right, domestic weekend. So here's the 55% drop, and you can see right now, year to date, that brings it to $128 million at the end of the second weekend. Let's do a comparison to a bona fide certified flop that just came out, Captain America Brave New World. Now, if we scroll on down just a little bit and we get to the second weekend, you can see it made $28 million in its second weekend, which is a 68% drop. And that's coming from the 3-day back up here, all right? A 68% drop. So that's mega. That's bad. But how does it stand overall? Well, you can see right here, to date, $141 million by the end of the second weekend. So it is at $141 million. The Thunderbolt is sitting at $128 million. The Thunderbolt is doing worse. It's a flop. It's a giant flop. It's yet another bad move by the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I think at this point, we got to start talking about Marvel fatigue. Yeah, I've heard about bad movie fatigue, superhero movie fatigue. Honestly, I think people are just sick and tired of Marvel. Marvel is dried up. It's old news. And I don't think people are coming to check for it. It's too much. They just keep having movies coming out, and all these movies are just okay. None of this shit is moving the needle. It's not getting people pumped up and excited. These numbers do not spell excitement. All right. They don't spell like, oh, yeah, I can't wait to go and see what Marvel has got next for me. Yeah, this guy says the same thing on Cosmic Book News. 55% drop doesn't matter. And while that 55% drop is decent, truth be told, it doesn't really matter as Thunderbolts opened so low. It would have been a different story if Thunderbolts opened in the 100 millions. Exactly. We were talking about this last night on the DA's office. If you open up big, like huge, oh yeah, you're going to get some major drop-offs, but that's okay. We expect there to be major drop-offs. But if you get a small drop-off, but you really didn't have a big opening, it kind of negates itself. The big opening, leads to the giant drop-off. But a 55% drop, like, that's actually not decent when you're not making any money on the opening weekend. So, yeah, it's a bad situation right now going on over there at Marvel. Yeah, and here's the real question that everybody's asking. Thunderbolts, New Avengers nears $300 million worldwide, but will the movie be a hit for Marvel? No, the answer is no. It's not a hit for Marvel. It's already a certified flop. It's doing worse than Captain America, Brave New World. We just saw that. And think about this. Captain America, Brave New World, that movie came out in, February, in the middle of winter when you got all kind of weather issues and everything going on. Thunderbolts is here in summer. This is summertime, all right? And yeah, I think it's going to still do decent numbers next week. But after that, it is going to be a cataclysmic drop-off because we're going to get Stitch Impossible. All right, Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible are dropping on Memorial Day weekend. Thunderbolts really has just one more weekend to do any major bread. And I don't think it will. We also have Final Destination coming out next weekend. Or this coming weekend. So, yeah, I think Thunderbolts is going to be just a forgotten memory. A lot of people have already seen it. If you haven't seen it, you probably didn't want to see it. The word of mouth isn't going to do that well. What they need is repeat viewings. They need all of you yokels out there that's championing this thing and saying how much you love it. They need you to go and watch it more than the one time you watched it. All right. They need you to go and watch it. Pay money, go to the theaters, sit down, watch it again. That's what they need you to do. But see, how much do you really want to go and watch a movie about depression again? How much do you really want to do that? I think that's also playing into it. The fact that this movie is about depression is like, I think I want to go to a good, fun-loving movie, have a great time. That's what Marvel used to give us. They had like some gravitas to some of those stories, but for the most part, they were fun. This movie, to me, is the least fun Marvel movie we've ever seen because of what it's dealing with. Dealing with the topic of depression. That's not a movie you want to go and see multiple times, even if you liked it. It's not like building you up. It's not exciting enough. So, yeah, I think Thunderbolts is going to struggle, to get back to that break-even point, regardless of these ratings. The ratings are the ratings and people like it. But, again, it's not translating into the box office, all right? They need you guys to go buy tickets, all right? All of you Thunderbolt lovers, get out there, purchase some more tickets. They need about 5 or 6 times more than what they're getting at this point. And all right, straight up. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. I think that the Thunderbolts is probably going to dry up fast, super fast. By the time we get to Stitch Impossible on Memorial Day weekend, this thing's just going to be a forgotten memory. All right, that's how I see it. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.